And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you took the time you needed to get ready here for the rest of the group, because we have returned with GSL Season 3 Codes, the round of 16 Group A. We just wrapped up with our first two matches, and now we are here to determine who makes it into the round of 8 and who gets knocked out of GSL. Up first is the winners match between Scarlett and Creator. Again, a winners match that I at least was not anticipating. I wasn't really ready for this, but hype nonetheless. And I'm curious to see how Scarlett adapts and how she takes a different approach. So again, Solar was a little bit one-track minded in the previous series that he had against Creator. We saw game after game, game 1 and game 2, Solar was one to max out on this Lingbane Roach Ravager army, and he was playing into Creator's hands. Creator, he was playing a more defensive style here. This is the difference between Solar and Dark. We always praise Dark whenever he does this. If you're familiar with our channel and familiar with whenever we cast Dark, which is like every other day, Dark, he is very adept at recognizing when the Protoss player is teching, when the Protoss player is focusing on teching and expanding, which means he's correctly identifying that he is safe to tech up himself and that the Protoss isn't going to be aggressive. I'm sure you're aware of this, but whenever Dark recognizes this, you know, a flip switches and then bam, Hydra Den, Infestation Pit, Lurker Den, Hive. Like, Dark, he techs up very quickly, keeping up, being on par with the tech of his opponent, if not greater than. So then by the time the defending player is able to, you know, get into a ground-based composition, Dark has the ideal composition against a ground-based Protoss army, which is Hydra, Lurker, Viper. And then from there, it's on suddenly the table turns on the Protoss, and they have to take up into Sky Toss to deal with that, or have a solid Disruptor-based army to trade well against Dark, etc., etc., etc. But again, Dark, he's just so good at identifying that and then embracing the late game as well. As we saw in the previous series, Solar struggled with that. He eventually was transitioning towards the end. We saw that in game number 1 at least, but we saw that Solar is just, again, or he was at least expecting more aggression out of Creator. That's why he would max out on Lingbane Roach Ravager and stay on a lair tech army that much longer and eventually be outscaled by Creator. And again, my eyes are now on Scarlett because she was watching that series at the time, and I'm sure she can have a better idea on how to now approach Creator in this ZvP. I guess that's a bit of an advantage that Scarlett has, is that she just now saw Creator play against another Zerg player. So again, she's got a better read on his playstyle overall, and we'll see if she can use that to her advantage as we're getting into game number 1 of this winners match. Let's go. As we get into this, a massive shout out to Watermelon in the chat for subscribing for 5 months. Thank you, Papi, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you enjoyed the content over the months, and thank you. We appreciate it always, always. As we are getting into this best of 3. Still best of 3. It's crazy. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Canadian Protoss. Sorry, Protoss? She played Protoss a couple of times. The Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. Just 2-0'd Maru. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. It is Creator, who just 2-0'd Solar. Looking strong there and looking powerful in those games. Again, just going for a very defensive style against Solar, just absorbing all of those attacks before eventually overwhelming Solar as the game did go on, as Solar did get outscaled, as the quality of the army of Creator was just better in almost every way. And now we have another ZvP before us. So far, Hatch Gas Pool. I expect the openers to be standard. My eyes are going to be on Creator to see if he does shift things up, because Creator, he can be more aggressive. We have seen Creator hit certain, even, I think specifically Charged Archon timings. Charged Archon, we've seen Creator do an amazing amount of damage with Oracles as well, and follow that up with a Glaive Adept timing, a Glaive Adept all-in. Creator, he can be more assertive, he can be more aggressive, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that side of him at some point in this series. At least I hope so. I hope that he does mix it up and doesn't just play the same way, because at this level of play, you know, you can be read and you can be figured out. But now, everything is looking as it should. Creator just being as annoying as possible. Dipping in, you know, attacking some of these drones. And forcing some inefficient mining out of Scarlett, or at least attempting to. As we get into our openers and we load in for the first time today on Oceanborn. Now Oceanborn has its own features. Rush distance by ground is pretty short. Because of that, we have seen a lot of Zerg players go for all-ins on this map. We've seen a lot of, you know, Queen walks across the map, or Queen waddles across the map alongside a creep highway, alongside roaches as well. And we have seen some mixed success with that. We've been seeing some Nidus-based all-ins as well. You can be very aggressive. Outside of that, if we're talking about a longer game, these 3 bases are pretty defensible. These 3. Taking a 4th base is a little bit more exposed, but this linear 4th base does have, or it is a little bit further inland, so you do have a bit of an easier time moving here and defending, as well as walling off if you're the Protoss player. The 5th base, though, that's when things get really difficult. Whether you decide to expand inwards towards the map or out towards the edges, it can be quite difficult. And we have seen players like Solar, players like Dark, even players like Serral really struggle to hold on to these fringe bases in a longer game, specifically against Terran, to be fair, but we have seen that also take place against Protoss. Oh, as we do have an aggressive opener, it is a Twilight Council. So Creator is mixing things up. Twilight Council into the Robo. This could be to go into either Glaive Adepts, or yeah, we have pulled out of gas. This should be Glaive Adepts, and Glaives are now on the way. The other option would have been DTs if we didn't pull out of gas. We could also go into different all-in variations, but again, Glaives are on the way from our Protoss, and Scarlett is in the dark. Is going to try to rotate around with her Overlord. Ling's going to be moving out as well to try to get a scout off. To try to intercept the 3rd base if it were to be taken. I'm sure she did notice as well that Warp Gate was not delayed. And that could be a tell here. As the Overlord is dipping on forward. Behind this, we have 3 gates on the way. Oh my god. This is a 2-base all-in, because this is not 4-gate Glaive Adept, this is 6-gate Glaive Adept here from a Creator. My oh my, it's been a while since we've seen this. It's been a while since we've seen this variation of Glaives. Again, we are doubling down that much harder, which means Creator is going to be that much more committed with his attack. Back at home, Scarlett does... been casting Solar. Scarlett does throw down a safety Roach Warren, thankfully, at around the 4-minute mark, which means that the Roach Warren will be done in time. We are still working off of 1 gas, guys, although more Lings are on the way. Scarlett droned up to 41. That is an acceptable amount. Because Scarlett isn't 100% certain as to what's happening, we are throwing down a Spore. We have a Spore here at the natural. We have a Spore at the 3rd base as well, in case it were to be DTs. Glaives into DTs are also a possibility as well. As the Glaive Adepts, they have been spotted. Scarlett now fully aware. She just droned! No, she just made 7 workers. I mean, she's got a good economy. We'll see if she can keep up, though, with all these Adepts as we do shade in towards that natural. Plenty of Lings to keep up. We have 7 Roaches on the way. But again, we can warp in 6 Adepts at a time. That's a lot of Adepts, Pappy. And yeah, they take down the first couple of Roaches. The Queens are under threat as well. We do commit to the shade. Lings have been chasing them, but there are just so many Adepts. They take down most of the Lings. They're working through into the main base, so we have another big warp in of Adepts as well. The Roaches are falling one after another. Not too many workers have died yet. Only 5 workers so far. This is not a crippling amount of damage, but the Adepts are still standing strong. And we do shade once again towards that 3rd. Lings are keeping up, but again, Lings are trickling on in. And it looks like we do get a surround. At the same time, the Prism goes down. Big pick off here for Scarlett. 9 drones have fallen. Oh, towards 10. Oh, this is getting a bit much. 11 workers, but Scarlett does hold. Immediately, Lair is on the way. Creator immediately throws down a Dark Shrine. So he has done enough damage to equalize. That's what I will say. It wasn't enough to kill Scarlett, but it was enough to actually be able to transition out of this. Again, it was very committed out of Creator. Can he hold on to this space, though, as Scarlett is going for a big lane counterattack? We do have 3 Adepts in position. War Prism has been remade, and the Adepts do have Glaives. There we go. We have enough Lings here to get a full surround, and Scarlett should be looking to cancel this 3rd. And this is going to be a big moment for her. Pylon goes down, but not enough to cancel. We have more reinforcing adepts. Prism gets across the map. Dark Shrine is still on the way. And Scarlett is redroning. Working up towards 55 workers. Lair's about to finish up to get into roach speed. And Scarlett is able to keep up with the Warp Prism. Now, do we have mobile detection? We soon will, now that the lair is done. Just in time. We still have this spore here at the third base. We have a spore, I believe, in the second spore in the main. Not mistaken. There it is, second spore in the main. But these DTs, they could force a cancel on this fourth base. And I say a cancel, they could even kill it. As adepts are caught out once again. Only 3 adepts make it through. The roaches are keeping up. The DTs are sneaking into the main. Again, they could have gone for some secure damage here at the fourth. But Creator, he wants more than that. He wants drones. Here we go. The DTs do reveal themselves. Focusing down that Spore Crawler. Getting a couple of drones as well. Overseer is on the way. But it's not done yet. 9 drones go down. No! In the Prism! The Prism barely escapes. Oh my god. The War Prism will barely make it back home. But Creator, he's been able to keep Scarlett busy and saturate his third. Creator now with a solid economy, building up towards Immortals, towards Archons. Likewise, Scarlett going for a Lingbane or a Ravager composition. Very solid. Rounding out her army with Roach Speed. And she was able to hold on to her fourth. That's what matters most. Sure, like Scarlett did lose workers, yes. But the fourth base stands strong. We have plenty of lava to work with. And this Prism is very low. Very risky maneuver here from Creator to move out. He's going to be cleaning up creep here with his main army. Going to be dropping towards the fourth base. Oh, that's an Immortal. Oh my god. I thought it was 2 Archons. Immortal and an Archon. Going to be threatening some of these Overlords. But again, Scarlett's in position. She shouldn't be losing too much here. Was this Archon meant to be here? Because it's really awkward because we have that much less DBS to kill Overlords. It's a really interesting pairing. As the Prism is forced back, we have the Bay on the way. Again, Creator doing what he does best, taking a defensive position back at home with this fourth. Working towards Disruptors, Colossi, building up his Immortal Archon count. But Scarlett has maxed out. And unlike Solar, I believe Scarlett does plan on committing here to break these bases. She's up 70 supply. Banelings are on the way. And we're looking to crash on in. Creator doesn't have everything back at home. His Immortal is out in the open. Scarlett looking to push in. There's only 1 shield battery, only 1 overcharge. Not that much stack defense. And we're rolling on forward. We catch out the Archons and the Immortals. The Banelings, they ignore them. They go straight for the mineral line. And they will crash in. 16 probes go down. And Creator, he just does not have enough. GG gets called. And Scarlett will take game number 1. GG. GG. Creator with a wild opener going for 6k Glaive Adept. It's been months. It's been months since I've seen that build. Again, very committed play out of Creator. He was able to transition out of it and, get a full 3-base saturation, was harassing across the map. But again, was caught with his pants down. Had a very high quality army. We saw a lot of Archons and Immortals from Creator, but very little to support them. No Zealots, no Stalkers, no Sentries, and very little sack defense as well. So Creator, cutting a lot of corners, was caught with his pants down. And Scarlett with a solid macro there, just maxing out as quickly as possible, going for the kill. GG. With that, Scarlett is now 1 game away from advancing on out of this group in first place. But can Creator fight back? What can he bring to the table here in game number 2? Again, it's still best of 3. Creator has a chance here to force the ace match. Otherwise, Scarlett's going to make it out. Oh boy. It's been a while. Been a while since we've seen Scarlett at the top of her group in GSL, and it's exciting. It's exciting times. Exciting times as we get into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of our Keone, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0, one game away from advancing on into the next round of GSL. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. Down in the series, he needs to win this game here and now to force the ace match. It is Creator. Oh boy. And I expect Creator to calm down a little bit more this time. Even if we have a Twilight Council opener, I don't expect for it to be a 6-gate Glaive Adept opener. I expect a 4-gate or even a Dark Shrine opener instead. But we'll see. We'll see what Creator decides to whip out here. Once again, so far every game here that Scarlett has played has been Scarlett taking a more defensive role. We saw her defend against an 8-Rax 3-base all-in out of Maru in game 1. Game 2 was a 2-base all-in. And here against Creator, again, it was essentially a 2-base all-in from Creator as well to begin with. And Scarlett did make it out alive, despite even droning behind it. Very bold move. I was really concerned when I saw Scarlett make a wave of drones. I was like, oh my god, this is not what we need right now. But she was able to minimize losses and deal with the army. More importantly, snipe the War Prism with the, oh my god! Bappy. Creator. As Creator is playing with fire and he loses his probe across the map. Not a good start here from our Protoss player. If Scarlett wanted to, she could just stay in gas and throw down a Roach Warren and go crazy and go for an all-in. Which would go unscattered, but I'm sure again she's going to be opening up standard and looking to react to what Creator does. As Creator is just getting his natural up and running, going for a gate expand into the cyber core. Nothing too crazy. Depth is on the way, and it is going to be a Stargate opener, and with this we can see Creator is going to be calming down a little bit. It's going to be going for something more standard. I imagine going for an Oracle first into a 3rd base, and we have seen Creator flourish on this map. I'm curious if he's going to expand it towards the north again. To wind it back, if you weren't here earlier, we casted Creator versus Solar, and Creator was wild going straight for the expanding in this direction, going for the 4th base with this Rich Vesting Gas Geyser, and taking his 5th on Solar's half of the map, unscouted as well, completely unscouted, taking full advantage of all these gases. We'll see if Creator has a similar thought in mind. As for now, we do see Scarlett just droning on up, saturating her bases. Gonna be preserving her workers against these adepts as well, making sure they don't get out of control. The first Oracle is on the way from Creator. But Scarlett has 2 queens set up in her natural base. Likewise, 2 queens soon to be here in the main as well as we commit to the Shade. 3 drones go down. Oh, can we get a 4th? Oh, we will get a 4th drone. We shouldn't get a 5th, but 4 workers for 2 adepts is a good trade here for Creator, and he's not done. He's coming out with that Oracle. Again, it's going to be on Scarlett to defend. She does have the tools to defend. She has 2 queens per base, no spores. Ooh, and one of the queens is moving towards the low ground, so it is going to create an opportunity here for this Oracle to get a bit more done. As the queen does waddle back, Creator ignores the queen, goes straight for the mineral line, and will not get a drone. Oh my god. The drones barely do survive. Oh, as the natural is looking more exposed, and this is where we get damage done. 3 drones. And the Oracle will survive. Behind this was the Void Ray. Void Ray going to be hunting down Overlords, going to be keeping Scarlett in the dark and even supply blocking Scarlett. Second Oracle is on the way. 3rd base is being taken. The Lings are here to try to punish this 3rd, but Creator's in position. He does have those adepts. Oh, but get us around. Good surface area on these adepts, and they will fall. Good pick off here from Scarlett. Suddenly losing those workers earlier, it's paid for itself in a way, where Scarlett was able to deal some counter damage at least. And here's the follow-up. We have a Robo. We should be seeing a Forge momentarily as well. The oracles are moving out. Again, 2 oracles can one-shot workers. So far, Scarlett's able to keep up. The oracles head towards the third base. The spore isn't quite done, but we do have 2 queens in position. And we do protect that third. And again, really interesting tech path here from Creator. Typically, we would be seeing a Forge and a Twilight Council. There it is. The Forge and Twilight Council were delayed in favor of this Robo. I believe this will grant access to faster Immortals. But we'll see how Creator makes use of this Robo. As it should be working towards +1 and charge. And there it is, Immortal Production. So again, this is very Creator. When he does look towards a more longer macro game, he does delay his tech here. He delays his Twilight Council and Forge in favor of Immortals, just to be that much more safer and secure. Again, a much more defensive playstyle. The Oracles dip on in. Hup. Get another 4 drones. 14 in total, actually, as Adept Shaden once again. Creator getting a lot of economic damage done. Oh my god. And we can try to go for... Okay, never mind. I was curious if we were going to commit here with this Prism, but the Prism, I imagine, is just going to harass across the map. Do have a Templar Archives on the way. There's Charge and +1. Soon to be Archons as well. Again, very similar to with what we saw between Creator and Solar, where Creator, he's just building himself back up back at home. He's harassing, yes, but he's not focusing on any kind of big push. Not yet. And I appreciate this from Scarlett. Scarlett does throw down an Infestation Pit. So this is a sign that Scarlett intends to tech up into Hive Tech and into Hydras and Lurkers. I'm curious if she's going to commit. Scarlett is focusing on droning. Do have an army moving out, but again, just to take control of the Zelnaga. Scarlett aware of the 4th base, so the potential 4th base here of Creator. Oh, almost catches an Oracle. But she doesn't see that Creator has taken a 4th, but it's going to be the triangular 3rd base as a 4th instead. There it is. Hive is on the way. I wonder if Scarlett is going to work towards Lurkers or some other tech path. I guess we could try and go Ultras? Question mark? Yeah, I'm a little bit caught off guard that we're not seeing a Hydra Den. As the Hive will still at least grant access to Vipers. But we aren't heading in the direction of Lurkers. Meanwhile, Prism comes in the left-hand side, and this will catch Scarlett off guard. Queen may go down. The army does rotate on over, and the Queen survives. Really nice handling of the situation. We are making 2 Colossi at a time. I'm really concerned, though. Like, Lingbane Roach Ravager, even with Vipers in the mix, I don't know if that's going to be ideal here against what Creator is building up. As the Hive is now done, and oh, there it is. the only things I was thinking is, okay, we're either just gonna go like with this Lair Tech army with Vipers or Ultras, and we are actually going into Ultras. Bold move here from Scarlett. Not something you see too often, but it does line up well here with the melee upgrades, I guess. We have Infestors to look down the army. And I do at least appreciate that Scarlett is taking up into Hive Tech and droning up and maxing out. But I'm not too sure if I'm convinced. So the reason why I say this is that I feel like Ultras are really good if, as we do have a Zealot army canceling the space, Ultras I feel like are really good if the Protoss player is pushing into you. If the Protoss player is pushing in Ultras, they can engage on creep, we can look down the army with Fungals. But as you know, Creator isn't going to push out anytime soon. He's maxing out first. And by the time he does, like, he's already got Immortals. Unlike some of these other Protoss players, Creator is a very Immortal heavy player. And there we go, additional Immortals are on the way. Has he scouted he has seen the Ultra Cavern. Does go for a Zealot Warp in into the main base. Going straight for the Ultra Cavern as well, and it looks like he's gonna get a kill. Oh, does get a kill on the Ultra Cavern. Denies Kindness Plating. Big pickoff. We have a couple of ultras on the way, but there's going to be a big delay here on the upgrades. And Creator, he is buying enough time to max out. And because he's aware of the ultras, we have more immortals in production. And Scarlett is stuck with an, not ideal army. I mentioned before that when you're this heavy on Ling Bane Roach Ravager, like you do want to be trading here. You want to be at least trading or at least punishing some of the economy. With Creator, he's now on 5 bases. Scarlett hasn't, she hasn't seen the 4th. She hasn't seen the 5th. I'm sure if she did, she would have been trying to punish them. But it feels like Scarlett's been hyper fixated on these northern expansions. And here we go, we're rolling in. Good fungal on the army. The Banelings roll on forward, but the overcharge puts in a lot of work. Ling Bane gets cleaned up completely, and now there are only roaches and ultras left without kindness plating. With only +1 carapace, the ultras melt, and Creator remaxes. And now Scarlett's in a lot of trouble. Creator pushing in with a maxed out ground toss army, and he's looking to snowball out of control. Again, still no upgrades on those ultras. They melt against this army. Ling's gonna try to come in from behind as well. Baneling's rolling forward, but into Archons. We've seen how this ends. As the Banelings go down, and the Creator is looking to push on through to break this base. The Colossus behind this, standing strong as well. Reinforcing with more Stalkers. The Ultras are putting in some work. But alas, Scarlett is burning through her bank. The Colossus barely survive as well. Somehow, some way, they do not go down. Yeah, the weakened Colossus are going to be pulled back. GG gets called, and Creator takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. We have a series, and I like that Scarlett did try to make ultras work in that scenario. Again, I do think that she correctly identified this, that the Creator was just being more defensive and she could tech up into hive tech. It is unfortunate, as we did have a look at her vision, she had no idea that the 4th was taken. She had a Ling on hold position at the northern 4th base, but she didn't see when or where the 4th was taken. She didn't see the 5th being taken either. I'm sure if she did, I'm sure we would have been seeing some harassment. I'm sure we would have been seeing some Ling Bane run-bys and some counterattacks. Alas, Creator was able to get onto a 5 base economy, max out with a solid worker count, and snowball out of control. GG. Not just that, but also the snipe on the Ultra Cavern was pretty big. It was remember, kindness plating was like halfway done at the time, and kindness plating finished up at the end of the game, you know, after all the Ultras had died. Like at that point, just did not work out in Scarlett's favor, and that was a pretty important snipe there from Creator to just delay the tech and delay the quality of Scarlett's army. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into the ace match. We're going to find out how this story ends and who makes it through in first place. Is it Scarlett or Creator? It can still go either way. Here we go. Are going to be getting into Hecate. We are loading in and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. Here we go. Who wants spoilers? If we do get spoilers in the chat, we will ban, or we will time out. Will time out. No spoilers, Pappy. No spoilers. Again, these matches did occur a couple of days ago. Couple of days. We are getting into this, and so far, Hatch Gas Pool here from Scarlett. Likewise, a standard opener out of Creator. My eyes, though, are going to be on the tech. Going to be on how Creator approaches this, because he has been quite varying here with his openers. Of course, we saw the 6-gate Glaive Adept earlier, the all-in setup from Creator, and even against Solar, it was on this map, if you recall, where Creator went for a Robo opener into a Disruptor drop. So we could see that again, but again, the downside to that is that Scarlett is aware of how Creator played in game 1, sorry, how he played against Solar, so I'm sure she'll be fully aware of the potential of those Disruptor drops. Here we go. Okay, Creator this time going to be babysitting that probe a little bit better, as we saw the probe surrounded earlier in the previous game. So Creator just have to be careful with it. Again, forcing the unnatural natural. Gonna make the early game a little bit more difficult here for Scarlett, just by a little bit. And once the Cybercore finishes up, we can see what kind of direction Creator wants to take us in, whether he goes for a Stargate or a Twilight Council. Based on the positioning of this pylon, it's looking like a Stargate opener. Typically, if it's a Twilight Council, we want to be hiding the tech a little bit further back. There it is, the Stargate is thrown down. So everything by the book so far. And again, if we do end up in a pretty similar situation to last game, I wonder if Scarlett's going to try to make the Ultras work again. There is potential with them. I want to say that even though they looked very lackluster in the previous game, a lot of that is because of the lack of upgrades, right? It's because of the lack of kindness plating and the delay on even making the abundance of Ultras that Scarlett wanted. So that was a pretty big factor to it, and a big factor as to why the Scarletts didn't really look, the Ultras didn't really look too impressive. But maybe we can get there this game. Maybe. As now the Adepts are going to be threading a shade in towards the main. Of course, 2 of them can one-shot workers, and we will commit to the shade. Only 2 Lings in position, and drones are going down. Ooh, 3, 4, 5 workers. Quite a lot of damage already. As we are not done, we still have the Oracle making its way across the map as well. Followed by the Void Ray. It looks like the same opener that Creator went for in the previous game. If you remember in the previous game, the Adepts, they got 4 worker kills. This time they get 1 extra. We'll see if this Oracle can do as well or even surpass the Oracle of Game 2. So we are going to be heading towards that natural base. Going to be ignoring the Queens, going straight for the drones, and we do get 1, 2, 3 more workers. Getting really good damage here out of Creator. Behind this, third base is being taken. The Lings are here to get eyes on this and to dive on the third base immediately. Can we force a cancel? It's going to be close. Oh, we do force a cancel on the third. Big pickoff here from Scarlett. Was able to dive on that just in time. Creator is going to be delayed. Behind this, he does reveal the Void Ray, of course. Scarlett does pull back her Overlords, making sure that she doesn't get supply blocked, as the Overlords do come back home. Evo Chambers thrown down for +1 melee, I imagine. And Scarlett's just, yeah, droning up her 3 bases, getting in position with her Queens. There is still potential with the Oracles, not just the Oracles, 2 Adepts being sent out as well. So Creator, once again, looking to be quite active here with a handful of units. And just like the last game, before the Forge and before the Twilight Council, we have the Robo, and this is for Immortal production. So Creator just getting into his comfort zone. Oh, the Stasis Trap! Oh no! Massive Stasis Trap goes off on the Queens and the drones on half the mineral line. Scarlett also loses an Overlord across the map. In the natural. Ooh, and Creator, he's doing quite a lot here. Accomplishing quite a lot with his harass. Oh, as I spoke too soon. As the Oracle finally goes down, but has already done so much for Creator. Behind this, there's our Forge, delayed Twilight Council. Again, this is for +1, eventually charge Immortals. Very similar to the previous game, and this is just Creator's bread and butter here in this matchup in ZvP. It is what he does best. we'll see how Scarlett is able to adapt. We're now going to be collapsing on these adepts. Going to be able to get a surround on one of them. The other will commit to a shade, but the drones are in position. One drone goes down, but only a single worker. Behind this, there are those immortals that we were talking about. Charge, +1. After these gateways finish up, we should be seeing a Templar Archives and a 4th base. And now the onus falls on Scarlett here to recognize what's going on. She has very limited scouting information. As soon as she pieces together that it is going to be a very tech-heavy composition, once again we should be seeing an infestation pit. Adepts say make it in once again. Oh, getting 4 more drones. Again, this is all designed just to keep Scarlett busy. There is no Overseer, which means there is no Scouts. Lings are moving out across the map, and if they get eyes on the 4th base, then Scarlett, that should be a tell here to either commit to a push or to tech on up instead. Lings, they get in. Get a surround on the shield battery. And even the cannon. As the Lings do back off, and Scarlett does not get eyes on the 4th. Is not aware. And as a result, she won't be able to punish that 4th base either. Meanwhile, Creator is moving out across the map with everything he has, which isn't too much to be fair, but he can warp in across the map. And he's going for an Archon push. The High Templar and Archons are going to be on the way. Oh no, we're just going for straight Zealots. We're going for straight Zealots instead. Again, a very offbeat timing here from Creator. There are those Archons we were talking about. The Banelings, they roll in. And we need some good connections. Scarlett caught off guard. Caught exposed, and we do see Creator just pushing in towards the natural. Roaches are on the way. That's 14 roaches. We just need to buy some time. As Scarlett does come in from behind. War Prism going to be pushing on forward. The Queens transfusing their hearts out as well. It's going to be a close hold. We get another warp in. But we have 17 roaches on the way. Drones are going down. A lot of workers, actually. 13 drones. But it looks like Scarlett should eventually deal with this. Just trading as best she can against this army. And Creator is going to back off. Forced out of the natural. Good snipe on that Archon. But the juggling may just be too good. Up. Yeah, the Immortals are saved. But the Archon isn't. And Creator will lose his army. But he got the natural and he got 20 drones. From here, Creator, he's just on 4 bases. Like he's chilling. He's macroing on up. Saturating his bases, and Scarlett is on the back foot. And I'm a little bit concerned here because we don't have any further tech. We just have Lingbane Roach Ravager here for Scarlett. Doesn't have the best economy either. We may just be forced all in. As Creator is getting further and further ahead. Again, that push had to cripple Scarlett, and honestly it did. Creator was able to accomplish that back at home, just building up those Immortals again. No Robotics Bay yet, so no Disruptors or Colossus. We have very limited splash damage available. And Scarlett hasn't droned. If you haven't noticed, she has not made a worker this entire time. She's been stuck here at 61, and she is looking to amass a massive Lingbane Roach Ravager army. She is all in. Catches some Zealots. The War Prism isn't here. We could even get the Immortals. As the War Prism does turn back around, the Immortals will be saved. That's a lot of Immortals. Oh my, 6 of them. Soon to be 7. Scarlett needs to break this army somehow, some way. Archon does go down. Good positioning, though, out of Creator. Oh, the Immortals. 2 of them are barely saved, but another goes down, and Scarlett, she's getting on top of this army. Leagues are coming in to reinforce. And Scarlett is catching Creator with his pants down at the same time. Oh, we do have a bit of a counterattack. Drones are falling. But again, Scarlett is all in. Zealot reinforcements do arrive. Scarlett just hiding her heart out. Diving on top of the Immortals. Gets 1 more. There are 3 left. There are 3 immortals remaining, and can she get them? Oh, it looks like she barely will get another. As the final immortal is saved, and reinforcements come in. Scarlett has run out of steam. Lings are coming in to reinforce though. Up, she gets another immortal. There's 2 left. We have zealots, we have stalkers, and creator is holding. Just barely. That was a close hold. A very close hold. And what I will say is that Scarlett did kill a lot. She killed 6 immortals in total. With that, even though creator survives, his army is a little bit lackluster. He's building up from scratch. He has to rebuild that immortal army. Doesn't have any disruptors. And Scarlett is still all in. More so than before. She lost 8 drones and she still has not made a single worker. She's still just, yeah, all in here with this push. Immortals are coming in to harass. Scarlett getting ready to push in towards potentially the 4th or even the 3rd. Looking to catch out this army. Gets a couple of zealots going straight on the Archon as well. Panelings are doing well for themselves, but does Scarlett have enough? The concave of stalkers are real. We have zealots coming in to reinforce. The immortals are soon to be upon us. And the creator should be able to hold on. Yeah, there is just too much Protoss. The attack earlier did just catch Scarlett completely off guard. And Scarlett's now droning. Aye. A rough moment to drone from. It's a bit of a Hail Mary play here from Scarlett. Meanwhile, creator is on 80 workers. 80 workers, full 4-base saturation. From here, creator can take a 5th. Can max out. And now we have some splash damage. Now we have some Colossi on the way. And the 5th base. And that was close. Again, the only chance that Scarlett had there was to commit to the all-in, and creator was able to barely hold on. Again, really good juggling from that War Prism. Really good control from creator. Now Scarlett has a lot of catching up to do. She has been able to drone up to 70, so her economy is okay, but the quality of the army is what is really hurting. She's on 1-1. No infestation pits, no Vipers, no Hive Tech. Just stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager with a worse economy. Now, I think that the only hope here, because again, creator is taking a defensive position, I think that maybe the only hope is a surround from Scarlett, but creator's just typically so careful with how he pushes. I don't know if he would expose himself like that and give Scarlett the opportunity to surround. We'll see if Scarlett does catch some of these stalkers. A good moment here for Scarlett. Oh my god, gets the stalkers, gets the Oracle as well. A good trade. Again, creator was spread thin. Remember that though, like creator, he still has some very impactful units that just weren't a part of that fight. Scarlett is clawing her way back in. It's a little bit deceptive, like the supplies are close, but remember, Scarlett, her upgrades are down. Tech is down. Creator has the quality. With Archons, Immortals, Colossi, 4 Colossi. Aye. Creator has amassed a death ball of an army. And again, the best chance here for Scarlett is going to be a surround. She's going to try to push in head on. She does catch a couple of stalkers. But pushing into this. Here we go. The Bailings, they roll in. The Biles. Oh, they do connect. 2 Colossi go down. But again, pushing into all these Immortals, it's not going to work out. She has to back off. At the same time, a big league counterattack. Workers are falling. Where are the cannons? Where are the shield batteries? Creator cutting corners. He's usually like on top of that sort of thing. Ducklings, they take down 10 more workers. He's setting up his own zealot run by, and he has killed 7 workers of his own. Scott's economy is still not ideal. And again, the upgrades from creator are insane. He's got +3 attack. The Lings do struggle to deal with those Zealots, but eventually they will clean them up, not before the base goes down. And again, Scarlett had a decent fight earlier, but I do think I like this though. She's avoiding the main army. This is a solid setup. There's no way to push into this. No way to collapse on this army towards the north. Scarlett avoids it. Goes for a counterattack instead. But this time we have cannons. Shield battery overcharge. Creator is in position. And it's still an uphill battle for Scarlett. Even if Scarlett breaks this base, I don't think she can deal with the army. But we're going for it. We're going for the base. We have the overcharge. Banelings are rolling on in. So yeah, the overcharge is a bit too strong. Stage Trap's going to be going off, and now Creator is going to be pulling the trigger. He's moving out across the map. What does he have? He's got 4 Colossi, 7 Archons. The base will fall, and he can just keep on pushing towards the natural. The Banelings, they try to roll in from behind, but alas, they do not connect. GG gets called, and Creator will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the round of 8. GG, well played. Oh my god, Creator gonna be coming out first in Group A, and how many people thought that would happen? In the group with Maru, with Solar, with Scarlett, Creator comes out on top. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to Creator. Again, he's a very wholesome player, very passionate as well. I know people love that he plays with his heart on his sleeve, and you know, after this broadcast, I may check out the mainstream just so I can see the cams, just so I can see how Creator reacted to that, because I can already see him. I can already see him popping off, Poppy, popping off. But GG, well played. My condolences to Scarlett. Again, Scarlett was completely caught off guard by the attack of Creator when he did push in with his, remember, it was 2 Archons, I want to say 3 Immortals, 2 Archons, 3 Immortals, and the charge up push as well. It was very offbeat, it was very off timing, and Scarlett was caught very unawares by it. Again, she barely had an army, and if she was given a little bit more time, if she had a little bit more foresight of the push that was coming her way, then I'm sure she would have been able to defend perfectly. But alas, at the time, she was dealing with all the harassment. There was adepts in all the bases, there were oracles as well. Creator, who was doing a great job at just keeping Scarlett busy while he amassed his army and moved out across the map completely unscouted. A big part of that as well is also because of the Void Ray. The Void Ray had cleared a path and cleaned up all the overlords in the center of the map to make sure that there was no way to scout outside of Lings being in position, but because of all the adepts, there were no Lings in position. Again, Scarlett was just, again, trying to defend her mineral lines and busy dealing with all those adepts instead. GG, well played. With that, again, Creator advances on. Scarlett gets knocked down to the decider match to face off against the winner of Maru versus Solar. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is it. The moment that I've been waiting for, the elimination match between Maru and Solar. It's so heartbreaking to see one of these players be knocked out this early on in GSL. It is brutal, and it goes to show just how cutthroat the GSL really is, and how unforgiving it is as well. This isn't just Maru versus Solar. This isn't just the best Terran and one of the best Zergs in Korea, but they're also teammates. You know, they're also teammates here. You know, they're both on on-site gaming. They're good friends. They talk about the game together. They practice together, and yeah, to have them face off and to have one of them go down, it is a little bit brutal here. You know, I have a soft place in my heart for on-site gaming, of course. You know, we have some close ties. Every now and then, the owner shows up in the chat and gives us some support. You know, we're very close with Crank. Crank is also a big part of on-site as well. Don't want to say like a sister team to the CranKy Ducklings, but you know, a relative in some way. You know, maybe a cousin, maybe an uncle, maybe something along those lines. So yeah, a little bit heartbreaking, but regardless, we are going to be diving straight into this, into game number 1.